Everyone who has ever defeated the Ender Dragon believed they were killing the final boss. But what if it was the opposite? What if this creature isn't the end of the game, but its very beginning? What if the entire world you've explored for hundreds of hours only came into existence after something woke this dragon up? By the end of this video, you will never look at an end portal the same way again. And you'll never hear thunder, walk past an obelisk, or step through a portal frame without wondering what it's actually hiding. Let's walk through the sequence every player knows by heart: the overworld, then the nether, a portal, and finally, the end, with the dragon waiting at the finish line. We've always treated this as the conclusion of the story, but what if world generation itself isn't random at all? What if it's a consequence? A consequence of the dragon being awakened long before you ever spawned in? Look closely at the shape of that portal frame. It doesn't look like an entrance. It looks like a seal. And it's not the only piece of evidence. Think about end cities. Scattered, isolated, always empty. Always guarded by shulkers that do nothing but wait. Why would anyone build entire cities in a dimension with no sky, no sun, no life, unless those cities weren't meant for living? They were built for watching, outposts, guard posts positioned around something the builders needed to keep an eye on permanently. Now think about chorus trees, the only living plant in the entire end dimension. In a place defined by emptiness and death, something is still growing, not thriving, just persisting. As if life itself refuses to fully leave, even after everything else did. And then there's the void beneath your feet. In every other dimension, falling kills you. Here, falling doesn't just kill you, it erases you completely. No drops, no body, nothing left behind. That's not a death mechanic. That's what happens when a containment system fails and swallows whatever gets too close to the edge. Now imagine a different timeline, the reverse of the one you think you know. First, there was the awakening, a single being opening its eyes somewhere in the void, between dimensions, where nothing else existed yet. That awakening tore something open, a crack we now call the nether. Fire, chaos, heat, not a separate dimension, but a wound left behind by something breaking through from wherever it had been sleeping. The ghasts drifting through that wasteland aren't native creatures. They're what's left of whatever used to watch over that crack before it tore open completely, drifting, aimless, guarding a wound that no longer needs guarding. And only afterward, as the world tried to stabilize itself, did the overworld take shape: trees, rivers, villages. A calm surface built on top of something far less calm underneath. The end crystals aren't decoration, and they're not random loot sitting on pillars for convenience. They're containment markers. The obelisks surrounding the dragon, some taller, some shorter, some already caged in iron bars, aren't identical by accident. Different heights, different reinforcements, as if whoever built them was responding to a threat that kept testing its limits over time. The silence in that dimension isn't an accident either. It's the silence of a place where something once stopped existing. Or, perhaps, where something is simply waiting, patient enough to outlast whoever built the cage around it. Here's where it gets stranger. If the end was truly built as a prison, why does it offer a way out? Elytra, wings capable of flight, are found only in this dimension, hidden in the very cities built to watch the dragon. A prison doesn't usually include an escape route for its prisoner. Unless those wings were never meant for the dragon at all. Unless they were left behind by whoever built this place. An emergency exit, just in case containment ever failed. If that's true, then every time you kill the dragon, you're not ending the story. You're restarting it. Killing the dragon triggers the world's rebirth. The portal reopens, the crystals regenerate, and the cycle begins again. Exactly as it did the first time, and the time before that, and the time before that. This isn't a bug, and it's not just a mechanic for repeatable content. It's a loop, the same loop, over and over. Awakening, rupture, stabilization, containment, and eventually awakening again. Every new world you generate isn't a fresh start. It's just another turn of the same creature, opening its eyes in the dark once more, in a slightly different shape, in a slightly different place, but always the same event, playing out again from the beginning. And if that's the case, then nothing you've built, no village, no base, no world you've spent hundreds of hours on, actually exists independently. It exists because the cycle allowed it to, for now. But if the dragon is the beginning of everything, then someone must have known that long before you did. Someone must have seen the first crack open. Someone must have built the first obelisk, forged the first crystal, carved the first seal into obsidian. And that means someone walked through this world before any player ever could. Someone who had a reason to contain this creature instead of simply killing it. And whoever that was, they made a choice. Not to end the cycle, but to manage it. And in the next video, we're going to uncover the fictional history of who ruled this world before Steve, and why, according to everything we've just seen, they never left willingly. Because if the dragon was never truly the last one, maybe the first ruler of this world never really left either. Maybe he's still here, just waiting. The same way the dragon does every single time.